We're out working on a S770 combine this morning. Beautiful morning here. We had about a 200-mile drive, right at 3 hours this morning. So I left pretty early. It's right at 7 o'clock right now. So we got a combine that's got some ECU codes for EGR flow issue. So we're going to check that out. The machine just has a little bit of emissions warranty left, so we're going to get it covered underneath that. And then after that, we've got a tractor for the customer as well that we're going to be taking a look at. So let's see what we can figure out on this combine. The code the customer's getting is the 265902, which is EGR calculated flow invalid. He's also got a D-rate code 156931. And so first thing I did was do a cold soak on the sensors before I even started the machine up. Machine's been sitting over the weekend. So I'm going down through the readings here and comparing all the temperature sensors. Right there's charge air cooler temp, it's about 76 degrees. Def defrost temperature, 73. Most of all of them are within the 70 to 80 range until I get down to, let's see if I can find it here, manifold air temperature, 131 degrees. And it's been raining ever since I've hooked onto the machine. It's been between 114 and 138 degrees. So there's obviously something not quite right there. And I did a little search in DTAC on the sensor, or on the code, and one of the DTAC solutions that popped up was, for that code, was the manifold air temperature sensor. I guess having some issues, and if it hasn't been updated to the new one, that could possibly be our issue for that code. Well, the fact that it's 130 degrees is what it's reading, that's not a good thing. And if you would have started the engine and probably had it running, probably wouldn't have caught it, because you wouldn't know exactly what that temperature should be while it's running. But since the fact that we haven't even started the engine yet and it's 130 degrees, we know there's an issue there. So we're going to go look at that sensor, make sure the wiring's good on it, and possibly change that sensor out. If we look down through the diagnostic process for that 265902, it has us check and make sure we don't have any exhaust leaks on the EGR side. And then it talks about comparing a couple different sensors here, I guess, that it uses to calculate it. And that manifold air temperature is the one that was like 130 degrees. And after I plugged in that new sensor, our temperature went back down to 80. And it says pretty much if they're not within 10 degrees together, change the sensor. So that EGR, or that manifold air temperature, is causing our calculated airflow through the EGR. So I think we got that issue resolved. We'll go ahead and actually install the sensor, and we'll run it and see what happens. Got the sensor installed. We ran it for a while, no codes. We're gonna let the customer go ahead and run it now, but we're pretty sure we've got the issue fixed on this one, so we're gonna head on to the next one. So we're working on an 8235R now, and customer complaint was that he's having some hard starting issues, and he's noticed when he's trying to start the engine that if he has something plugged into the number 6 SCV, that it starts trying to move. Like on his planner, he had the row markers hooked into it, which he's not even using the markers, but they would start twitching when he was trying to start it. And he said, when I talked to him on the phone, he said they hooked on a cylinder or another function on that, like this auger right here in that number 6, and when he started it up, it started going as soon as he was trying to crank on it. So we're going to start it up here. Got my gauge hooked on to the P-port. We're going to see what kind of pressure we're getting. Also, he did mention that the number 5 or number 6 SCV does not work either. You can see it's moving on the screen here. but it's not reacting with my hoses plugged into it. And there is a code in the display for the, I think it's 4085 point something. It's for the valve not returning to center. But if you notice, my P-port pressure is not, the pump pressure is actually not staying engaged high, which I figured it would be if the valve's stuck open. We go down here to SCV6. Says the neutral position has not been reached. So if you watch our pump pressure here while cranking, it doesn't jump all the way up again like it was before. Tractor starts like normal. The hoses or SCV are not jumping anymore. We're not getting any more codes for the valve not in the neutral position, and every time we go to use SCV now, it's working. I disassembled the valve, but before I took it all the way completely off the machine, I took the cap off and made sure that this valve would move back and forth. So I put the cap back on, fired it up, and it fired up like normal, like it should, and SCV worked for just a little bit, and then it hung up again. So I ended up taking the whole valve apart and just making sure anything that looked bad. Everything looked pretty good. The valve didn't look scored or anything, but there's a couple valves in here that are non-serviceable and they can't even get them out, and so the customer wanted to go ahead and install a new valve. I brought one with, so we got it installed on the tractor and calibrated. Every time we start it up now, it fires up like it should, and SCV works, and we're not getting any codes anymore. So while I was here, customer asked me to look at this one as well, 7830. Said the seat won't air up. So I crawled in here real quick and tried to power it up, or air the seat up. It wouldn't air up. So I pulled the armrest off of it because switches are kind of prone on some of these blowing out the fitting where the airline hooks in. Well, I carry one of these on the truck, and so we're going to swap that out. And he also said PTO wasn't engaging sometimes for the baler, so we're going to check out of that as well. New switch is installed. And the seat's starting to air up. So that was an easy fix. So we got the two tractors and the combine going. Gonna heat me up some lunch real quick, and then we'll get on the road, head back west again. We got about a 2.5-3 hour drive back to the shop. So